we did want to show people a few things about the track. First of all, I know they were talking about cars cutting the infield, which I guess a little bit has been happening, but they removed the concrete here, which they did before last year's Classic and title. But the berm is still reasonable, but I'll be honest, it's probably not high enough to really unsettle the car. I mean, the left front wheel hitting this, that's just not going to unsettle the car enough. So I would say that if the difference was a couple of feet, we see it, it's like a meter tall, a few feet tall, at say somewhere like Knoxville, you really are not going to be cutting the corner, but it's not as much as a deterrent as what you would think is necessary as far as the size of this berm. But they've just started getting the sheep's footer out here on the racetrack, and what's awesome to see is that there's actually plenty of moisture in this track. So we've got one of these pegs that's kept as a marker for the pit stalls out on the infield for early on in the night. But what's really cool to see is all the moisture from the sheep's footer out in the track. I mean, you can see how soft the track is still, right? And that's awesome to see, and that means there's plenty of moisture. If you ask me, that was the best track I think I've seen, at least in the 4 years that we've been filming for Sprint Car Hub here at Warrnambool. I mean, a few little rough spots, and they wouldn't call it perfect, but once you forget the idea of a racetrack being perfect, then you actually realize that this well surpasses what you could have ever asked for. Now we'll come up track here because the sheep's foot is behind Matt. But they've just started ripping the track. We saw Veal on the top for the lead, same as McHugh, and both of them on the bottom. People sliding, both lanes were quite even. People running the middle. I mean, there's some dark patches here. I mean, it's not super slick. It's probably it was a tad fast if you're going to be critical. It was such an awesome racetrack, and I mean, a nice little cushion. They've obviously ripped it up here. This is good to show what they do throughout the night or after the race meeting's finished. And another thing that we really need to make a point of is that the race finished on time. Yeah, there's a little bit of dust, but I wouldn't stress about that because we've got these Sprint Car Hub dust glasses. Come see us at the Fan Appreciation Day on the Saturday. But yeah, honestly, an awesome racetrack. The best part is that we got a lot of interviews tonight as well. We caught up with Kerry Madsen, who held on for third, 13th to 4th for Jordyn Charge. We caught up with him. Lockie McHugh, we saw him out on the infield. My first interview with Jamie Veal for a few years. So it was good to get his reaction after winning. We caught up with him in his trailer. And we spoke to Cam Waters, who had an awesome run as well. And then the last guy we spoke to was Rick Stewart, who is the track curator here at Premier Speedway.
It looked like you're squeezing the most out of this ride. You must be happy with how you've been.
Oh, I'm wrapped. Our performance has been really good since we changed cars, and we've been right there every night and really quick. And we were really good in the A, sitting behind Rocky around lap 10, and I packed the right rear full of mud. And I'm actually just happy that we got her over the finish line on a podium. Gets us a good spot for Sunday, so you know, we're pretty happy.
What's changed about the cars?
Sorry? We wrecked the car at Quinana, and we were sucking, and then we put a new car together, come out the next night and won. So racing's just weird.
How do you feel for Sunday? Do you feel like...
I actually feel pretty confident now because we didn't feel great early on, and then we made some changes for the A, and for the first 10 laps we were sitting there just cruising, and I packed the right rear full of mud, and they took off, but I'm happy to get third.
Hey, that's a tough thing to do, to try and reel someone back when they're in open air. You must feel pretty confident going into Sunday night.
Yeah, definitely. That long run we had there and some lap traffic, I think would have got pretty interesting when we had to both move around a bit. But yeah, off the restarts, obviously, Jamie was getting a really good run, and in open air and on a cushion like that, it's easy to open out on the restarts. But yeah, I was pretty happy when we started sort of getting the bottom rolling there in 3 and 4 and sort of wheeled him back in a bit and I had a crack at the lead. So yeah, didn't want to do anything too silly. Obviously a top 4 lock in for Sunday, so was happy to come home in second. That's a second row start on Sunday, so that's kind of the big picture, I guess, but you always try and go for the win.
Run us through your race. 4th from what, 13th?
13th, yeah. We obviously started a bit before this start of the night. Obviously, getting back in the Eakins Motorsport NT11, it's been a dream come true, but I think I've got some bad habits from some of the other cars where their sort of baseline's a bit different and just trying to get comfortable again. It's obviously been a bit hard. We kind of missed it at the start of the night. And then by the feature, we just seemed to have clicked again and felt, unreal. It's a really good car.
Yeah, what would you change going into Sunday, or you just feel like, hey, we've got something? Did you change something that you are happy with? Or?
Honestly, I didn't make many changes. I think we just sort of, a couple of little shot adjustments and found a few little issues that were kind of half rectified, so we'll try and fix them fully tomorrow. Fix them, and then hopefully the car's 100% again. So, basically this car's almost brand new again since I raced in Darwin. Obviously new motor, it's been refreshened from Power Race engines, new diff, new front end, just everything's all brand new back in it. Considering we only did 11 shows in the car last time, so it's obviously a bit of teething issues that you got to sort of get right. But I mean, all in all, the car is very balanced, and hopefully make the right call Sunday.
And just quickly, what do you think of the track surface?
Obviously, I've only actually raced here 3 times now. The first night was the night where it was super locked down, and I was in the Downey Brothers car and didn't have the right shock package there at the time, and I actually struggled with it. So I really haven't had a good night here till tonight. The second night I was here, we just missed it in the feature and ended up backing it up in the A main. So other than that, track's really good. I do believe, obviously, it's slowed down, which is a good thing. Obviously, it probably was a little bit fast tonight. But overall, I mean, it really isn't taking as many cars as last year, you know what I mean? It's still, even sometimes it's rough, but it doesn't actually rip the car apart. So I think they've done a good job. Hopefully, keep it up and keep the track, really racing.
Cam, tonight you ran really well, but the way you were driving, that was pretty cool. You having fun out there?
Thanks, mate. Had a lot of fun tonight. We've come off kind of 2 bad nights, so it's really good to, bounce back tonight. You roll out, obviously. Went quick time with the flight was really, really cool. Winning the first heat and had a sick battle in that first heat, ripping around the top, and all night the car was really speedy. So massive thank you to my whole team, all our sponsors, and the final we were good for probably 20 laps, and then the last kind of 10 we just faded a little bit. We were a bit free, but we learned a lot, and got some good points.
It's been a while since I've watched you, but you seem to really be coming to grips with a sprint car more and more. And like, I wouldn't know any better watching tonight, had I not seen you in other stuff. But you seem to really be embracing what a sprint car is. And tonight, like driving around the top of someone in a heat race and that competitive run up the top, you must be enjoying it more.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I love the challenge, and it's been a long journey to kind of get to this point, but these things, they kind of require a little bit of a different mindset. You get in them and you have to just be so aggressive and angry with them. And, the harder you drive, the more grip they make and the better you go. So, really embracing that, loving that. Hopefully we can kind of get some good results now.
Where do you feel like you need to adapt more or get better?
In a sprint car? I think just probably adapting to the, changing in the track.
Moving around
a little bit more, probably trying to find grip, just be a little bit more proactive with that. I've definitely gotten better at that. Ripping the top, hitting the cushions, instead of cheating it, just getting up in it and letting it rip. Just little things like that, but it's all starting to click. It's just seat time in these things. I don't race as much as everyone else, but it's like anything, the more you do something, the better you get.
You work with James McFadden's dad. What's he like to work with?
Yeah, it's awesome to have Dave on board. He's been a new man this year, been happy Dave, not grumpy Dave. So
why?
Usually he's grumpy. You'd have to ask him why, but the New Year's resolution for Dave to be happy, and it's lasted a while. So we could probably get him in the camera and ask him. No, he doesn't want to borrow it. But no, it's awesome to have Dave on board, and he's got so much experience, and it's good to kind of get in the car, it's right, and just have someone also in my corner that kind of can tell me what I'm doing wrong as well.
I know the racetracks here haven't been ideal, but that looked like you had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, it was obviously been a lot better than what we've been dished up Sunday night. So it was a little bit different. It was hard to judge the pace and know where to run, because obviously all year we've been just bell on the top here. So a bit of a bottom, a few ruts through the middle made it a bit interesting. So it was sort of hard to judge, and they said, I've seen Lockie show his nose a few times watching the big screen, trying to see where he was at. So
you can see the big screen here?
Yeah.
Just giving it a quick look and then.
I just have a quick look and see where the camera's at. So, yeah, and then I said, like, it was sort of hard to judge, where to run. And I said, once got the lap cars and that, you sort that took it out of it, and just got a few good runs there on lap cars. But I said, yeah, it was just getting a bit slick to the ledge, and I said, we're fading away there a bit at the end, but we'll work on that.
You went to the bottom, and then on the restart, you went to the top. Were you worried at all about really what Lockie was doing, especially when he slid you there with a few to go?
As I say, I knew there was a bit of a bottom, and I knew if I got down there I could hit it. So I was just trying to keep a bit of clean air and just keep it rotating. But as I said, the bottom had a bit in it, and as I said, it was just one of those races. It was hard to pace or know how hard they'll run behind me.
I'm sure you guys have had a tough week with track prep. Tonight was killer. What'd you do different?
Well, yeah, it's been a tough week, Toad. A lot of criticism during the week, but we stuck to our guns and come out and tried our best, and it paid off. Obviously, last week we had a bit of trouble with our water cart not working earlier in the week, so it sort of stuffed us a little bit come Sunday. But I think we made up for it tonight. First things first. Last Sunday was not ideal, and we accept that and we wear that. We'll put that in the bin and put it behind us now, and hopefully we look forward. Basically, the only difference between last week is we're able to get water in. We spent the time, obviously didn't work this week, so able to get the water in deeper and try a few different things, and it paid off.
We've been coming for the last few years for the Classic, and I mean, we have not seen racing like that, I don't think, at all. You must be super proud, but what's this clay like to work with in general in comparison to the black clay?
Oh, it's crazy different. I think the main characteristics difference between this and the black stuff is the black stuff, it'd seal off straight away.
Yeah.
Wait for this guy.
You're good.
It'd seal off straight away, which made it really hard and it sort of screw with your brain a little bit. No matter what you did, you'd just be up against it all the time. And this stuff here, you've got a bit more give in it, a bit more forgiving, and especially the high winds we had today. In the back of your mind, because you're so used to the black stuff, you think, well, that wind's going to kill us, but this stuff I was able to cope with that. So yeah, it's much better.
What do you have to do over the next couple of days? Do you have any concerns? I know there's a few, maybe like a couple of rough spots as well. How do you?
Just basically, that's the whole idea of punching holes in it now. We feel that's the best to be able to drag the loose back down over those holes and try and get a bit of compaction to get it all to bind. So that's about it really. Just punch some holes in it and drag the loose down and keep the moisture up to it really.